I have a question regarding the khutbah today. You gave us an example, you gave us the story of the Prophet ﷺ about the 30 days when the Sahaba came to him. He told him that he's making long-term plans. So can you explain to us this compared to now when everything is
planning? No, he's not meaning like that. When Shaykh Effendi was also giving that sohbat, and specifically he's mentioning to young people, and he was telling, I remember when he was giving that sohbat, he was giving that sohbat to us. Okay? The lesson that we have to learn, the whole lesson of all of that is what? Death. To remember death. You understand? The one who remembers death, who is preparing himself for that, then it doesn't matter to him whether he lives for 1 day or 1,000 years. It's the same. Then it doesn't matter if he lives, if his work is just planting corn or his work is raising cities and civilizations. It is the same. Then they're just looking at the work. They know that they have to die, but that is the work that they're doing. Now, the example there is a big lesson. There's a very big lesson that Shaykh Effendi, in that sohbat that is not in the khutbah, he's explaining more. It talks about how young people, number one, they don't think about death. They think death is very, very far away from them. They think that death doesn't exist when you're young. And that is also human nature. They would do all sorts of stupid things, dangerous things, that once you reach the age of 40, you say, what was I thinking? If I made just one wrong turn, I could have died. I could have killed other people, right? But you didn't think that time. And what is Shaykh Effendi trying to tell us also? Think about death so that we have fear of living? No. So that we can use that energy that we have to say, I don't care about death. To use that energy, to use that for the sake of Allah. Because understand, Holy Prophet ﷺ, he received prophethood not when he's 70 years old. He received the wahy not when he's 70, 80, 90 years old. He reached when he's 40. And most of his Sahabis, they're around the same age too, no? Most of them. Meaning this is a religion of young men. That young men don't think about death, don't think about afterlife. They don't think about anything except to please their own nafs, that in those 40 years, how it is built. Father saying, school saying, culture saying, this is how your life should be. And Prophet ﷺ came at that top point where young men say, now I'm going to start my life. And he came in, he knocked everything down. This is the meaning. It's not the meaning now, oh, as you like, we just don't plan anything. Just let everything to go, free and easy. No, preparation, it is part of your faith. It is farz. So, that is just a lesson that the Prophet ﷺ was saying. Now, do we have to plan? Yes, we have to plan. But you know what we are planning also? We're also planning our death. Yes, we're planning. We don't like to use also the word plan. That's why if you notice, one of the things that the question yesterday asked, what is a sunnah, that small sunnah that you can practice every day? Well, try to make the small sunnah that we're making in this dergah. Number one, Shaykh Effendi says, only Allah is the creator. Now when you say someone, oh, I created this Facebook page, I created this, you're not a creator, you made something. So don't use that. Number two, we don't say plan, we say intend. We make the intention. Now that's completely different. When people, they plan, they say it must happen. When people who make the intention, even they know that most probably is going to happen, but they make the intention and they say, as Allah says in the Quran, very clearly, you have to say what? Inshallah. Inshallah. And then when it happens, do you say, it happened because of me, I did it, I planned, that's why it happened. No, Quran is also saying what? Say, MashaAllah, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. MashaAllah, it is as Allah wills it, and all strength and all power is only coming from Him. So this is one of the meanings to that. So we put everything and we say, Ya Rabbi, this is as you like. And whatever planning that we're making also, it is knowing that it must prepare us for that afterlife, must prepare us for that death. Huh? Okay. Because this is one myth that Orientalists always like to say about Muslims, especially about Sufis. So these are the ones that they don't plan anything, they are lazy, they are, what else they say? Not organized. You know, everything that they were for 1,000 years. When you're still chewing bare paws raw, we're already having libraries for everyone. When your king had 30 books, the common person has already finished reading 30 books by the time he's 10 years old, let's say. It's common, because education is one of those things that is Islamic world. It is free for everyone, it is an obligation for everyone, and there is a push for everyone to have intelligence and knowledge. You had those ideas that is the complete opposite, to say, I have education, I must make sure everyone around me is stupid, otherwise they're going to be more clever than me, and they might become a tyrant to me. Islam is the complete opposite. The first commandment is to read, is to recite. Not only to recite, inside of that, it's not only to read, but it is to proclaim. You read and you have to say. You cannot just read by yourself, you have to say. So, all those things that they're saying is all, we cannot repeat it, we shouldn't. But have we become that, like this or like that? Sure. Past 200 years is not the best time of the Islamic life. Don't judge these 200 years, for example, about the Muslims, what we've done this. We have 1,400 years. Why don't you look at how it was 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago? What actually happened these 2,000 years? 200 years. Something big happened that made people to behave in certain ways. Now slowly, like what we've been talking about for a long time, that this country has to sit and think. This country has to sit and think about its history and consider and come to terms with it and to ask questions, uncomfortable, disturbing questions, and to find answers honestly. It's finally doing. But this is how it is Jahiliyyah. If you are not Jahil, if you're not ignorant, if you're smart, you would actually talk about it. You would actually talk and discuss it long time ago. But the age of ignorance, you can only talk after there is fighting. It's only with violence that you can actually sit down to talk. That's not civilization. We will see, inshallah, where this is going to happen. It will solve a lot of problems, but we know what kind of new problems are going to happen. We're waiting for that. In the next few years, make sure you stand on the right side. Make sure that you don't have love in your heart for those who are in the wrong side, because their love is what is going to destroy you. Don't have any tolerance for that. You can help people, but don't love the wrong things about them. Don't find any excuse for that. Don't look at yourself better than them, because if Allah leave us alone, we're going to be worse than that. But don't use that reason now to say, I must hug all my enemies and we are the same. You're not the same. May Allah make us to be sincere believers, to live our lives sincerely and to pass with sincerity, inshallah, and to raise us with the sincere ones. Al-Fatiha. Amen. Assalamu alaikum.